Yes, we're live.
Live. Oh, I love being live. I love being alive with you because we're just more alive together.
We are on fire. Diana Patton, this is
Yes,
so good. And it's
give
boosting
me.
my confidence to do this
It truly
confidence
is.
series with you. So
I
thank you.
love this confidence series so much because I was telling you that I was kept reviewing it. I'm like, he says it's pretty good. I need to review this for myself over and over and over. So I'm so grateful to be doing the confidence series with you. And for those of you who are just tuning in to Uni's page, welcome to the confidence series. This is the fifth in the series of confidence. And we've done 4 other videos that are amazing to deal with how we show up, how we speak, how we present ourselves, what to wear, all the things. And I'm so excited about today because we get to dive even deeper into this idea of confidence. And I want to, for the individuals who are watching, to be able to share, and I'm going to actually pull it up. That's why my eyes are going down here because I'm going to pull it up here in a moment, is to have people really start to think about how it is when they feel confident. What does confidence look like for you as we're, traveling through all of the areas of confidence? I really want people to think about, what does confidence look like for you?
Mhm.
And for us, I really, just even seeing this page right here, I feel pretty confident. Just even looking at our photos. And I think that's a big thing for individuals out there in the land of media, is when you show up in a photo, make certain that you have a presence about you that feels good before you even take that photo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah. Well, I want to get into what we're going to talk about today, and that is how to give and receive feedback with confidence. How to give and receive feedback with confidence. Why are we talking about this? I really feel all of us at the end of the day want to know how we're doing, right? We all desire to feel a sense of feeling seen, heard, and valued. And so we're going to go through these topics, Uni, and I want to give just really quickly. These are the 3 things that we're going to be talking about today. To know your worth. Why? Because we always talk about knowing your worth and be coachable. Knowing your work and being coachable go hand in hand, and we're going to kick that off. And why living in a state of gratitude will help you be able to receive and give feedback. And finally, to share the metrics and the facts. This whole presentation has everything to do with your head, which is factual, heart, how you feel, and your hands, action, doing something. So, Uni, how about you kick us off?
Oh, thank you so much, Diana. I am so excited about this specific because of all of you watching us now or watching this recording, we've all been in a situation where we had to give feedback in our professional lives, in our families, with our friends, maybe even. I mean, especially with friends, right? And also to receive feedback. And how do we receive feedback? And in order to both give and receive good feedback, meaning that it's something that you can build on, that it's something that you can grow from, we need to know who we are. So knowing your value, knowing what you're worth. And we talk about this every single time because it is the foundation for everything. Knowing self-worth is the foundation for communication. It's a foundation for everything that we do and everything that we are, and showing up in our most confident person, on screen, in your job, everywhere. So, and in order to know your value, to know what you're worth, you need to know yourself. So it's about this, thinking about it, really reflecting upon what makes your heart sing. What are your passions? And also knowing the difference between what you want and other people's expectations of you. So it really starts with this whole, being able to give constructive feedback and taking it as well, begins with having, like we always say, Diana, having a daily practice. And you and I both are, we are walking our talks right here. We were just,
100%
sharing before, recording this, how both of us have done our yoga this morning. We worked out, and just what we do, because it's so important. And it's different for everyone. Diana and I, we like to work out, to do our yoga, to meditate, but it can be different for you. So find whatever works for you, whether that's a 15-minute meditation, whether it is to journal a little bit, or just set the intention. I feel that when it comes to giving feedback and also taking feedback, how are you walking into that meeting? What intention are you having? So that is when what you said, Diana, is linking this, the heart, the head, and also the action, and also the intention of that. And in order to, and the last point here was, in order to be able to give feedback, you have to be coachable, meaning you have to be able to receive other people's feedback of you and coaching of you. That means you are willing to learn, you're willing to grow, right? And that can be uncomfortable. I know, because, I've been there, and I am still there, right? And I think we all are, because it is hard sometimes to receive certain feedback, and it also depends on how it's given, right? So we're going to get into that. But in order, just think about that in order to be able to coach or to give feedback, you have to be coachable as well, and willing to be coached, willing to learn.
I love that. I think this is that to me is one of the biggest areas. I mean, of course, we got two other points to get to, but I think that is the biggest area.
Yeah.
Is when you know that you're willing to receive it and you're coachable, you're going to have the heart to be able to coach, because you're going to know and think about how this makes you feel, right? Because people don't really know how much you say. They don't care how much you are smart. They want to know, they care how you make them feel. We know that right from Maya Angelou. So that's so good. Every single time we talk about this point, it allows me to self-examine myself. It's to make certain that I am living in my values. So let's talk about this living in a state of gratitude, right? I really feel, and I want to share it with the audience, that we, of course, have these beliefs. And when we set up these presentations, we're really thinking about how we walk our talk, but we're actually looking at different resources and books and authors or people who've done research in this to gain insight into how we should present to you. So I want to already share right away that we've used Thanks for the Feedback by Sheila Heen and Doug Stone of the Harvard Negotiation Institute. And one of the foundational areas of being able to give feedback and receive the feedback is living in a state of gratitude. So you're sharing your gratitude daily, and you're expressing appreciation, right? So people love to be around people who are grateful people. And we know what that's like, because have you been around people who are ungrateful? We know that, right?
We know.
Grateful people just have less stress and they live more fulfilled. So when you're grateful, you can freely and confidently share what you appreciate about yourself first, because we're doing what you said, Uni, before in the previous slide, and for others, right? And then we often need to ask others what they are grateful for. For those who lead teams, these are people who are consistently around people. Why don't you ask before you start your team meetings, what are you grateful for? And share yours first, because if you're constantly living in a state of gratitude, you're every day, you're thinking through your daily practice, what am I grateful for? So when you fill yourself up with gratitude, you're more than likely going to want to ask others, hey, I want to know about you. What are you grateful for? And wow, does that make people feel like you are a genuine person? One of the things that team members have a hard time gaining is trust. And if we want to gain trust among our people that we work for, people that report to us, and even our colleagues, and especially at the executive level of a lot of these organizations, this is a key fundamental factor, right? So try it. Ask someone what they're grateful for. And lastly, intentionally see the good in people. There's one thing that we can do as leaders of on our organizations is to watch out for people doing good things, right? Just,
Yeah.
first of all, I want you to just personally set a notification for yourself. Pick up your phone, set a notification for yourself to stop your day and say, and find something you're grateful for, right? And that will settle your heart, that'll settle your mind. And then while you do that, I want you to be conscious of going out. Especially if you are an executive, please, CEOs, right? Walk around and say, hey, oh my gosh, I see you. I just want to let you know, I saw you post something on social media and that was great. It could be on social media. It could be something that you see them on the team. Hey, I just want to let you know, hey, good job on that project. You guys were ahead of schedule. Great job, right? Think about people in your life and those that you interact with on a daily basis. Parents, think about this. Why don't you intentionally see the good in people and call that out? Take time to do this. All of this will set you up for success to give and receive good feedback, right?
Absolutely, Diana. And as you were speaking, what comes to mind for me is, one really great way to show your gratitude and to just bring this energy of gratitude around you is to not only give good feedback, but also give reviews to people.
Of course.
If they do something, if they're good at something and you've experienced them in a professional setting or whatever that is, or if you've seen somebody speak, or if your team members, whatever, you can give them reviews.
Yeah.
And especially, you can do that, on social media. You can write to somebody, post on somebody's wall, tell them what you thought. It's often, overlooked, but it's so important. And it's such a great way to give feedback and to show gratitude at the same time. So review people, give people, when you read a good book, review it. Write it like a sentence, if you appreciate this video that we're showing, this course, tell us, right?
Yes.
Tell us what you liked about it. It's so simple and it takes so little time, but it means so much to people. So something to think about.
I love that. And thank you so much for your recommendation on LinkedIn, and I have yours, but I know it is something that really everyone's like, because it's so unexpected. You go, oh, thank you so much. And it just
it feels so good, right?
So good. I love it. So let's talk about the head. You want to get into this, Uni?
I'm going to let you start with this because this is your expertise.
For sure. Yes. Okay. So this is where we get into the head part, right? Yep. Because at the end of the day, what I know is everybody has different personality types. Some people just love to just be told them, you're doing a good job. Some people need to go, can you pull out the Excel spreadsheet and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how I appear on your Excel spreadsheet? And some people, and that's just, when fundamentally speaking, right? We're lawyers. We know that you have to come with evidence and showing. So let's talk to the head part, right? So define the baseline and the metrics of success. Mm-hmm. So I really think all of us would, especially in the corporate setting, especially in a business setting, when my success is tied to my paycheck, we need to know why I did or did not meet the level of getting a raise. Okay, so this is where this falls in. So define what you're working towards. Yeah. Okay, you may have to pull out a chart and get into the definitions of what when I say baseline metric, what am I being measured towards, right? So what does success look like? Now, I always like to use SMART goals, right? Being specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and timely. So when you're setting a baseline, I want it to be very specific, right? I don't want it to be elusive. I want it to have some ending and beginning points. This is part of what I would, if you think about like a great book that talks about SMART goals, it's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's by Stephen Covey. And there's another book about time management by, I think it's his cousin, Franklin Covey, who talks about SMART goals. So be very specific, measurable, actionable, reasonable, and timely. Because if you look at each one of those quadrants, specific, measurable, actionable, they have some type of metric that you can tie to it. Now, when you're talking about this SMART stuff, right, you want to make certain that you communicate often how we're doing towards these goals. Communicate this ahead, right? So before in the previous slide, we're talking about, oh, you're doing a good job, or you're doing a good job, right? You have to understand, some of our metric people are sitting there tallying it, right? But no matter what, everyone wants to know where they stand and how they are doing. And we just watched, before we started this video, this Oprah video that was talking about one of the things she's learned over her 25 years of experience, that no matter who people are, whether you're the executive level team member, or whether you are a parent, whether you are a individual who's homeless on the street and they are trying to see how they're doing, everyone wants to know, am I doing a good job? How did I do? Is this okay? And because I mean, she was just kind of shocked. Oprah said, people are asking me, I mean, the president of the United States wants to know how he did in the interview. So, and I,
and Beyonce too.
Beyonce.
Yeah. I mean, the people that you think are the most confident people in the world, right? Even they need to know, was that okay? Did you hear me? Did you understand what I was trying to say? Did that come across okay? We all need that confirmation. So so what you're saying there, Diana, is so good, because we need to measure up our progress, right? How we're doing up towards something. So and this is especially important in a corporate setting.
In a corporate setting, because I think often we as individuals need to give ourselves some grace in relationships, right? Because oftentimes in relationships, if we're keeping a score and a record of wrongs or a record of hurts, this doesn't necessarily do well in relationships.
Nope.
In the corporate setting, this is very, very good. So please take that note. Because I can see some people walking away going, I'm gonna go get my Excel spreadsheet on my husband,
Absolutely. And to that regard, Diana, when I give out reviews to people, I don't necessarily expect them to give me a review back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I do that because it's like giving a compliment to someone.
Yes.
You give like, oh my God, Diana, I love that color blue on you. You don't necessarily need to give me the same compliment back.
Isn't that funny though? But it's like, that's so funny, because innately, I think as humans, right, we feel this reciprocation. We feel, and I think it's good as long as it's valid, right? As long as it's genuine, coming from a genuine space.
Exactly. Absolutely. But what I meant was that the intention, when you share your gratitude or your validation of someone else, you give that not with the expectation of getting
exactly
right.
That's so good. We should talk deeply about that another time. That's a really good topic,
because that is that is confidence at its best. When you can give out, you can be generous. You can
good.
And if you notice, often the best people in the world, the people who are the best in their field, if you ask them for advice, if you ask them, can you help me? They often will help you. But because they know, they have this deep confidence. They don't have to compete. And they would love it if you get to their level so that they can up their level as well, right?
They want to see you win.
They want to see you win. Exactly. So that is, for me, the point of the whole confidence series as well. And as we're coming to the final session here, is really to have that confidence that you can give so generously, and you want to see the other people around you win. You want to make them great, right?
That's right. And that's the reason why that falls so nicely into our last point, is to define an improvement plan, right?
Yes.
Often when I would negotiate contracts, I would often say within the contract, we need to come up with a place where we can go, okay, I didn't meet this expectation or at this level, but then how can I get better? What is my improvement plan? And stick to it. This is the thing I think a lot of people, especially parents, not to, get too deep into the personal side, but we do need to share this, is that, when we say we're going to do something and then you don't follow that
Yeah.
plan, it really causes tension,
Yeah.
causes conflict. And so, especially as an employer, right? And as an
Absolutely.
employee, it's a two-way street.
Mhm.
So I have to, do this. And so feedback works like that. We really want to make certain that we're giving feedback. If you've gotten off track, define what happens when they meet the goal and what happens if they don't, and communicate along the way. And
Yeah.
that will create a beautiful, positive relationships on your teams. Because, if there's something worse is when a team member is not pulling their weight,
Yeah.
right? We really want to make certain that everyone is working together to create harmony. And that is how we give and receive feedback.
So good.
I
Absolutely.
love it so much. So we're at the end of this 5-part series, right? So we have realized is we're going to put these some resources and make certain that you guys see. So this is a actual book that I was referencing. This is the Oprah interview. You can click on it and learn it. So let us know, was this helpful, right? Here we go. Can we have feedback?
Exactly. And and what would you like for a future series? What would you like us to talk about or to address? So that's another, yeah.
Yes. And I guess we'll be here when we say we'll be here every Wednesday. We won't. This is the slide that we actually wanted to modify. But
Yeah.
what's relevant here is what's next? What else would you like to hear? Here's
Yeah.
what we're thinking about. And I put this in here, speaker series, right? Because if there's one thing people are scared to do, is they are scared to speak.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about that in the confidence series, but I know a lot of people want to dive further into it, is how to love your voice and effectively use it. Because a
Beautiful.
lot of people don't love their voices. I realized that, I had to learn to love my voice and how it sounded, just even how it sounded.
Yeah.
And how to get up on stage and speak without a script, right? How to be able to get up there just with some bullet points. Where did the words come from? And we can talk a little bit about that.
So good. And also something that a lot of people don't know is that you can change your voice. You can improve your voice, because your voice actually is so important in how others perceive you and how you show up confidently as well in the office, everywhere you go. So how to use your voice is actually a really great, it could be a really great series. So yes, thank you, Diana.
Yes. And so we're interested in to know, please comment, tell us, give us feedback, let us know what you're thinking. And of course, as always, you can connect with us. We want you to know that we both have ways in which we're consistently talking to our audiences. Of course, you can follow us on social media, but if you really want to get close to us, you're going to want to be in our communities. So make sure that you connect with both of us there. So yeah, we got.
Absolutely. So good. Thank you, Diana. And thank you everyone for watching.
Yes, thank you so much. And we will see you in the next series.
Yes.